Got it.
Ah, perfect.
All right, we're good.
Perfect. All right. Well, if you're recording, I'm leaving. All right. Cool. Thank you. All right. So it is 4:07 and I'll call the meeting to order. We've got a quorum. We've got Brian, Clark, Graziella, John, Claire, Richard, and Kimberly. Yeah,
Kimberly.
Kimberly.
How quickly you forget, Brian.
Yeah, of all names to forget is yeah. And then I know Christine said she'd hop back on. So thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. This is the second to last board meeting for our year. So why don't we go ahead? I sent the April board meeting minutes out to everyone. Did everyone have a chance to read it? And anyone have any questions, comments, or corrections?
Oh,
Yeah,
I move to accept.
okay.
Yes.
All right.
Second.
And did I heard Claire in a second?
Yep.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Oh, all right. Great. They are in the books. Cool. So why don't we go ahead and move into the financials, and I'll let Graziella take it from here with the club and then through foundation and properties.
Okay. Forget, sorry. Okay, these are the financials for Rotary Club for the period of ending April 2021. We had a total cash in the bank of $20,750.30. We had on the balance sheet a prepaid expense of
Graziella, could I interrupt you for just one second to ask if people can see that or not?
No,
No, I see everyone's smiling face.
Okay, not sure what happened here. Go ahead, Graziella, I'll catch up.
Okay. We have a prepaid expense of $2,127.24.
There we go.
There we go. Yep. So should I start over again?
Oh,
you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. So the prepaid expense is Cuvée for $1,000, Rotary International of $643.41, and the Women's Club rent of $200, which is the deposit. Other than that, there's not much to say on the balance sheet.
Yeah.
The net income. So as you see, sorry, intercompany foundation, I cleaned that up. So now we're all to zero again.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Net-
Yeah, it looks good to me.
yep,
And I think all things considered, I think we're in pretty good standing.
right.
The $5,000 difference from last year to this year, last year, I think it was last year, they got a $5,000 bump from Lincoln Wine Fest. So given that we really didn't have one, I think all in all, we've held our own through this. So good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. All right. And yeah, as we've been talking the last few months, no reason to go into the budget just because of how far off we were. Because I had originally budgeted thinking we'd get back a lot back to in-person a lot sooner than we did, and with a more full menu of things like food and so on. So unless anyone has any questions, I know looking through it for me, if we just jumped right to the last page, because that's the big one, we want to try and clean this up.
Yep.
First of all, anyone have any questions up until the AR, which is the very last
No.
page? No? Okay.
Mhm.
So I'll speak for a moment if I can to Bill Runtani. So I did put a call in, but I haven't heard back from him. I'll try one more time. What we've talked about in the past, and I say we take the vote next month, that if we can't get this cleared up, we just write it off. For one, to clear off the books going into the new year. And then probably just as importantly is to be able to remove him from the rolls, so that when we, on July 1 is when district and international look at how many members we have based for what our billing is for next year. So unless someone has any concern or question with that, I say I'll continue to try and work with him, and we'll see what happens next month, and we'll take action, definitive action at that point.
If,
Sounds-
Ryan, question,
sounds good.
if we were to do that and he wants to pursue the new club that he wants to go to,
Yeah.
would that allow him to make that move or,
No,
So technically, no.
okay, all right.
And unless, so I would imagine it comes down to how we word it. And I say that because, you know, I don't know Father Bill well, but I'm assuming he's a pretty forthright, honest guy. Okay.
Right.
If you'll remember, he says he didn't realize that he's in arrears. He doesn't understand why he's in arrears. So we could next month, when we vote on this, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, we could say we believe it's in error, we'll remove it, and he can move on to his other club. Or we can say he's in arrears, we're clearing it off, and until he clears it up, he can't be transferred. I'm assuming we could go either way. And I think we can make that decision. I'm glad you brought it up though, because at least we should have it on our mind as we prepare for next month's discussion on this.
Well, the other question that I have on it
Yeah.
is, are we sure in our own mind that he owes us money?
Yes,
You know, I was until talking with him about 2 months ago when he seemed very surprised that he was in arrears.
no.
So,
But I mean, this should be pretty straightforward from a financial standpoint. I mean, we have all the records.
I
Unless he could-
agree. And that's
me,
why
it's-
I prefaced that with, you know, it's hard for me to conceive that he would be lying to me, knowingly lying to me, right?
And I would agree with that.
That he can't understand how he's in arrears. However, if after 2 months of us sending him what we believe is the documentation proving he's in arrears, if he doesn't try and clear it up with us, then, you know, maybe that's the answer, is that, you know, it's in arrears, we'll clear it, but until he pays us, he can't, he's not in good enough standing to transfer.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good approach. You know, I'm surprised. You know, I've known Father Bill just a little bit, but I mean, you know, it's not like he's in one of those nefarious professions like banking that you'd have to worry about people.
Yep, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. So anyway, I know it sounds wishy-washy from me, because I don't want to put in anyone's mind what I think the vote should be. I want everyone to have their own vote and their own opinion on where they come down on this a month from now, if we still have to address it, if it's not cleared up and we have to address it. And that's, I want to come down in the middle so that everyone can make up their own mind. I'm not sold one way or another, to be frank.
Brian, let's a question. Have you physically spoken with him and said, you know, here's what we have, you know, what from his standpoint, what does he see the issue is? Why does he believe that he's correct?
Yeah,
I mean, rather than going back and forth in emails, I mean, the question is, have you literally spoken with him
yes,
person to person?
I've spoken with him, and I know Clark did, probably going back 6 months ago as well, when Father Bill first mentioned that he wanted to needed to transfer clubs. And and correct me if I'm wrong, Clark, Clark made him aware that he had to make sure he was, caught up in any dues that he owes. Now, I don't know that there was a discussion about how much it was. Fast forward from Clark's conversation about 2 months, which is about 2 months ago now, roughly in my mind. I talked with him on the phone. He seemed surprised by the number when I talked with him. And I said, okay, let me give you the invoices that we believe are, up for discussion here. And if you can prove that you don't owe them, we'd be happy to clear this up.
Right. Okay.
So, that's the last discussion I had with him, though, was I'll get him that information, and Graziella got it to me probably within 1 day. And I immediately forwarded it on to him. So he's had it for a good solid 2 months. I've put one call into him, haven't heard anything from him or heard back on the last message.
So, sorry, Christine, I'm back.
Okay.
I will
Yeah, no
probably
problem.
end up jumping off again because my phone is blowing up.
Okay.
So just real quickly, so here's kind of my take. We want to get Bill off the roster before we have to report to RI our membership lists for
Yeah.
next year, because if he's still on the list, we're going to still be paying for him even though he's not here.
Yeah, so I
Right.
think you came back in at right after we
Yeah.
said that. So next
Right.
week, we're making a hard ruling on this if it's not cleared up. Next
Well,
month, excuse me, yeah.
Yeah, no, my attitude at this point is I think we do it. I think we need to decide, do we just write it off? Or are there members of the club that I'll pitch in $100 and just as a benevolent whatever, and get a couple members to cover it and pay it. And that way he leaves the club in good standing. And if he wants to go join another club, great. That's kind of where I'm leaning if anybody out there is willing to kind of meet me on that.
Yeah, so I truly want to get this cleared off before June 30th.
Mhm.
And so for the same reason you do, right? And so I think we can postpone one more month. Correct
Okay.
me, and let me put that to Clark. If next month, and I think that I want to say the 25th is when we meet. If at the end of that meeting, we
24th.
don't have a resolution, we vote on what to do, and Clark can get him off of the rolls within like a 24-hour period, and he won't show up, and we won't get dinged for him, if you will, from a cost perspective in the new year.
Or a membership perspective when we put in membership goals for next year as to how many over under we're looking at.
Yeah, and that also is based on the June 30th timeframe, right?
Right.
So
I already had to enter my goal, and so it was based on existing memberships. I might have to go adjust it, but
we'll go down one. Go
Yeah,
down
we'll
one,
figure it
because
out.
he's not going to be on there either way.
right, we'll
Right.
figure it out.
We know that for sure. He's not going to be on there. Even if he came to us with the $432, he wants to transfer or
Right.
needs to transfer. It's not like he's trying to get away here. But so I think you go predicated on one less than what we currently have, knowing
Okay.
that he won't be on the rolls either way. But at least give us, we still have that 30 days to see if we can get this resolved in a good way for everyone. I don't really want any hard feelings either here with this.
No,
Brian, I would suggest this. There's no reason, I don't see why we don't just take him off the rolls now. Why don't we just terminate him now? If he wants to pay it before the end of the month, then, we just
then
can
he's in
let the
good
other,
standing.
then we
Yeah.
can let the other club know that he's in good standing when he tries to go there.
Right.
I
I
mean,
agree.
there's, other than possibly let it slip and I forget to, get him off the rolls, and then we get nailed for the dues for next year.
All right, okay.
So I would move that we go ahead and terminate Father Bill. That's such a horrible thing to say. His
Not terminate Father Bill.
Now
terminate
you
Father
know
Bill's
why I was
membership.
struggling. That's why I was
Okay,
struggling.
we're terminating his membership. There we go.
Yes, yes.
Terminating his membership, effective immediately. And, of course, if he brings his arrears current, he would be in good standing.
Okay,
I
so
second.
fine. Okay, yep. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Nope, it's unanimous. Okay, there we go.
So can I ask
so-
one more question?
Yeah.
About, and it's not a big dollar amount, but it's a member that we haven't seen in a really long time, and that's Anna Roa. Has she attended even one Zoom meeting?
She's had
No, I don't think so.
medical problems, hasn't she? Been fighting cancer. She and her husband had COVID.
No,
Anna's
that's
No,
Anna
no.
Marie Dugan.
No.
Yeah, that's a different.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
Anna Marie. No,
Are you talking about Anna Roa? On a row.
Anna Roa,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Anna-
Yep,
yeah.
got mixed up.
I haven't seen her, heard from her in the
Okay.
last. I'm just curious what she hasn't
pops
attended Zoom
in-
meetings.
No, she pops in
Yeah.
every once in a while for, 10 minutes in the Zoom meetings, but only
Yeah,
very infrequently. But she's around here all the time. She's been to all the women's club things. She's around. So,
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I'm thinking, are we gonna just go through and strike people off of our rolls now?
No, I mean, no, this is just honestly a legitimate
Yeah.
question. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
Yeah,
her.
and
Yeah.
so she hasn't paid for a year now, right? And also when we had the auction, she did not respond to any of our emails. So,
I thought someone was paying her all her dues,
At
Graziella.
one point, I know Art was.
okay.
So what do we do here? Do we have grounds for, inactivity?
Well, she
she has had some very recent financial problems, and I spoke to her a little bit. It wasn't Rotary related when I was talking to her, but she told me a little bit. Do you want me to talk to her and find out where she stands right now?
Sure, yeah.
Up to you. I'm willing to.
Christine? No, it looks like Christine must have had to bolt. I don't see
Okay.
her on anymore.
I think we should talk to people before so I think talking to her, and before you get to that $90 one, Graziella, I'm paying mine tomorrow morning. But,
But you respond to emails, so I'm not worried.
I do, but I think
Yeah.
just the right thing to do in a Rotarian spirit is to speak to them before we make a decision, to have
Yeah.
someone go
Yeah.
to them and ask.
I agree. Really, the only one in this category of discussion in my mind coming in today was Father Bill.
Because
Um,
we did, yeah.
I think, I think, yes, we need to we clean him off of there in terms of the dollar amount, we're down to $600 in arrears or outstanding.
Well, I think the thing with Anna is that we don't want it to go any further, especially recognizing the fact that Art or someone else paid for her in the past. And so, we just, is this a structural problem as opposed to something that's short term? And that's why Art, I think, stepped in before. But if it didn't really work
Okay.
then and it's not working now, I don't think we want to let it continue to grow and then have to do something. So. I would
Well,
think, yeah,
she lost her job, so that, but I spoke to her a couple of weeks, I don't know, maybe it's been a month now, about her working, and she's looking, but hasn't found anything. So that's all I can tell you about that, but I'm happy to talk to her if you want me to. But
Yeah, I think the
that's
thing
up
is
to
that if we can help her by just not allowing the outstanding to grow any further, let's say she gets employed again, she has some cash, she can come in and clear the 120 as opposed to now it's 250, in order if she wants to come back in.
Yeah,
So I'm looking at it as a help to her, really as opposed to getting a couple extra bucks into the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm,
But then what are we gonna do if we're gonna, invoice the fees, the annual fees, which is $168?
right.
That's gonna be high, even higher.
Well, I
Well,
think
I-
we need to
just-
talk to her and see what her intentions are
Right.
for next
Yeah,
year.
Yeah.
Before
exactly.
the end of before the beginning of next year.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So
Right.
let's do that. Was it Claire that suggested she would?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
would you mind following up with her and
Absolutely.
let us know even before next board meeting if
I'll
possible.
let you know as soon as I talk to her.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Is that
Following up what Kimberly said, I see I'm 60 behind. I'm going to fire my bookkeeper.
it?
I'll still have to live
Be
with her.
careful, be careful. It could end up costing you a lot more.
Trust me, I've been there, done that.
Gotcha. All right. And I think, maybe next meeting, I don't want to put these names up on a screen necessarily, but I'll bring it up that we still have some arrears. We want to clean up before the end of this year. Okay. Fair enough. Because,
Yep.
I don't see anyone else on here that's a concern in my mind. I do agree the concern about Anna, and I think we should follow up on that. And then, of course, what we talked about with Father Bill. All right. Any other things within the club financials to discuss?
I have one question on looking at the financials on the detail
Yeah.
on sheet 1.
Okay.
And I went down there, and unless I'm missing something, I don't see anything for Night at the Races, even going back.
This,
Oh,
we were
well,
looking
this
at
is
club.
the-
This
yeah.
is club, not foundation.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, you'll see that in a minute.
Okay.
All right, so I move that we accept the April financials as is.
Second.
Second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thank you, Graziella.
Yeah, can I say something?
Nope. Yeah, I'm
So
sorry,
the
I'm kidding.
the taxes have been filed for the club.
Thank you.
For fiscal year 2019-20.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, because it is on the agenda to bring that up, so I
Right.
would have skipped it, so thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and do hopefully a fairly quick review on the foundation and then properties.
I can't show you, but so I have a short version now that I got from Brian, so I'll try to be very short. Total cash in the bank is $47,503, $405.13, which includes $3,413.93 for community garden, leaving $43,991 for operations. In restricted funds, we have $131,749, which that's comprised of the Bradford account, the permanent account, the community garden account, and Cornerstone. Those are restricted funds. We have a committed funding that is $13,500, which we have in our liability. And we have unrestricted funds total of $74,385. This does not include the $4K of accounts receivable.
Okay. Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Would you like me to go into detail with the prior year or anything, or just show you income and expense?
Yeah.
So I have from year to date from prior year. So we have income year to date is $51,581.91. Expenses were $45,763.30. Net other income was $19,762.11, and net income year to date is $25,580.72.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. And Brian, are we presenting the budget?
That is truly up to Christine. So. if
Okay.
she- Yeah, because it's her budget. So
Okay.
I think, yeah, I'd rather wait until she's ready to do that.
Okay.
Hmm.
And then I'll go to the properties account.
Okay.
Unless somebody has questions, sorry.
No, I think that was just a background question.
We need to approve it.
No,
No.
yeah, that's it, approved in the foundation board.
Will
Okay,
be, yeah.
that's right. I know that. I forgot.
Okay, the LRC Properties, Inc., the total cash in the bank was $26,963.25. Difference of, you see a large difference there. I just quickly explain from last month is because we paid the taxes in full through June 30th. We have a prepaid tax amount at this point of $4,489.55.
Okay.
Our income year to date, so I'm not going to go through the budget.
Okay.
Okay, income. Okay, now we come.
Is there, if there's a page you want me to go to, let me know, Graciela. If not, I can
Yes,
just,
so sorry. Yes, I should have told. I'm sorry.
Could you say it again, please?
No.
Alexa thought I was talking to her.
Yeah,
No, there should be, if you can go up a little bit, please.
Sure.
There we go. I think that's it. So this is the statement of income and expense for the year to date. Income is $56,120. Expense is $50,969.14. The net income, a little bit farther down, has a negative of $42.10. And the net income year to date is $5,108.76. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I think that's pretty much it on the properties.
Okay.
Also, well, properties also has been both foundation and club and properties, all the taxes have been filed. So on time,
Perfect.
paid and everything.
Great. Wow, nice. All right, well, thank you very much,
Yep.
Graciela. Okay. I'll move into some committee reports. Clark, do you want to go now or do you want to wait till later?
Well, actually, on membership and mentoring, I don't really have anything to add today, really.
Okay.
Other than I owe Christine the amount that the city needs to pay, and she'll have that over the weekend.
Oh, got it.
So we,
for their
I
membership.
I will say William Jessup has reached back out to me and said that they're still intending to join, but I've texted him back several times and still haven't heard, so I don't know.
So basically that's in the same file as the Umpqua Bank.
Well, Umpqua Banks said they've declined for now.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
joking because we.
Oh,
I've been
no,
on.
I mean, this was literally a week ago. I got a
Okay.
text from Brandon Bowling at Jessup, who's also board of director on the chamber, and said they were gonna move forward.
Okay,
Wanted to get it teed up again. So I got right
Okay.
back to him, but then he went silent on me again. So that's it for right now.
okay, all right, thank you. And Karen is out.
Oh, by the
on-
way, Karen texted me. She was trying to get on and she's having troubles and she can't seem to get on. So she said she probably wouldn't be here.
Okay, yeah, she mentioned to me that she probably wouldn't. So I was surprised that she had even tried. So yeah, they're enjoying a nice bike ride across South Dakota on the Mickelson Trail. Okay. And public relations, Chris had the Potters stuff going on, so nothing for youth other than what you heard today, which, you know, I think I mentioned this at our club meeting last week too. It was really, I'm really impressed by the community in Lincoln, but then also the way the community is with the kids. And I'm impressed with what I'm seeing, you know, from the youth in Lincoln. Now,
Yeah.
granted, there's always those few, but
Yeah.
I was really impressed, and so I was really happy to be part of the senior awards night. It was an honor for me. I didn't realize how much of an honor until I was actually there doing it, so it was nice. And community, Kimberly.
We actually have exciting stuff going on this weekend. So the
Oh.
community center is finally getting going. So my landscaper will be out there to put down the decomposed granite and tap it out so that the picnic tables actually have a place to sit and be. I did see an email just now from Joanne go through. He offered to mow the weeds and then spray them. And then I have a rake and I have a big garbage bin out here, so I can get up the dead weeds. But Joanne just sent an email over to Dick Fowler to see if we don't want to hurt the trees, the fruit trees
Yeah.
that we're going to be planting.
Okay.
So I'll tell him to hold off on spraying. At minimum, he's going to go mow it and clean it up and then get that decomposed granite up, and we'll have the picnic tables out there for them. So that they have a place to sit outside.
Oh,
Cool.
that's awesome.
Very nice. I
Yeah.
know it's been a while, probably 2 years in the making as a result of the shutdowns. Well, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Hey,
Very cool.
Kimberly, Kimberly, a question for you, and that's on the bocce ball. What's the status on that? I see you rolled your eyes.
Yeah, they had wanted the bocce ball. I am worried that we have talked them out of something they wanted. Because when we were out there last weekend, Joanne was telling me, she's like, I don't think they're gonna use it. I'm like, well, that's really not our place to tell them that's what they wanted. That's what they asked for. So at this point, it's not being done. And Paul just told me, or just sent an email to, and had said that he spoke to them and he got them, that he thinks they're on board with not doing the bocce ball. So my only worry is that we talked them out of something that they had wanted. So I kind of want to go to Jamie and say, hey, Jamie, is that something that you guys want? Because it's not our place to tell them if they're not going to use it or not. I know the city had some concerns with regards to, and I mean, my funeral home's right across the street. So we have some homeless issues out here. They're dying down quite a bit, not literally, but they're not.
That's right.
The
Yeah, in your
substance
line of
abuse
work, you gotta be
folks.
careful with that.
I gotta be careful. These substance abuse issues with the majority of them, they just got kicked out of that house. So
Oh,
the homeless issue out here it's not as bad as it was the last couple weeks now that they don't live in the house.
yeah. Okay.
So
Well, let me ask, oh, sorry. So let me ask, so I would imagine that even if right now they don't want it, we could continue the conversations and possibly do it at a later date. I don't see any reason we couldn't do that.
that was
You know,
kind of
so-
my hope.
So
Well,
maybe
how
a
about-
no for now kind of thing.
How about the funding on that? I thought that was the issue, that we had to get it done before the end of May or whatever, the funding isn't gonna go away. So where do we stand on that?
So, and I apologize because I let myself get completely wrapped up in work. And so Joanne and Paul kind of took the lead on this to get things done. So last week was my first time hearing what was spent, and we met out at the senior center.
Hello?
We met out at the senior center, and they told me that the picnic tables that they had requested had been purchased, the shed. Dick Fowler is donating the tree, or the Fowler Nurseries is donating the trees. And that was my first time hearing no bocce ball. So I asked what I had left in my budget, and I was told we have about $700 left in my budget.
How much?
So 700.
Okay, that's not gonna do a bocce ball court. They might buy a
No.
couple of bocce balls, but that's about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they said the picnic tables, and I dropped by. I should have been looking at well, they were purchased. So once it's purchased, it's purchased. But they bought picnic tables, and they were pretty expensive picnic tables. So once we went out there, that's why I contacted my landscaper, because I was like, we can't just put a picnic table down in a field of weeds. It's not gonna
Well, you
work.
could, but that,
You
yeah.
could, but I wouldn't want to put
Yeah.
Rotary's name behind it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
So,
with you.
so I contacted my guy and said, hey, what can you do for me for $700? And
Yeah.
so we talked about it, and he's like, I suggested bark, and he's like, I wouldn't do bark. I would do decomposed granite, and
Yeah.
he does a really good job for me. So he's gonna meet us out there and use the remainder of the $700 budget to at least create a more ambiance of the seating area with the picnic tables.
Well, in that case, should we even be talking about the bocce ball court? I mean, let's assume we're gonna be out of funds.
Well, we have
Right.
next year's budget. Maybe we can just put it in next year's budget.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I would like to add something too on this subject. Personally, for accounting purpose and proper documentation, et cetera, shouldn't the person that has the budget for that part, shouldn't that be the person that does the check request, or at least approves it? Right, and I think, and I'm sorry, Kimberly, I think you've been kind of that went over your head, right?
It did, and
I
I
think-
apologize. I need to be more,
No, it's
especially
not.
going into the role that-
No, that's not your fault. I mean, it should be a rule for us, I think, a process to adhere to, that when somebody is in charge of a budget, like, the youth and world services and community, it has to go through you first before
Yeah.
anything is being paid out. Because you're the one that has the budget.
And
So, I mean, this is just something I think is very important, that we need to communicate this to people.
Yeah, Graziella, I think that's absolutely correct. I know when I took over World Services, it was the same thing, and I got caught up a little bit. I think like Paul went ahead and did it, but then we realized the situation, so we routed it back. He created it and he routed it through me, and I just sent it directly on. So, but I think you're right. Any chair of a committee should have even if you're not making it up, at least
Right.
just signing off on it, just for
Exactly.
procedure.
Yeah.
So
well,
I
and
feel
I
your pain,
can't say how
Kimberly.
much I appreciate them helping out with it, because I know that we were getting under the wire for the
Right.
district grant matching. So they
Yeah.
did step in and help me in a time that I have been lacking employees because I didn't have any, because no one wants to work during COVID. But I promise I will be more involved, and I will not let that I will be tougher. I won't let it go through me again, because I gotta say, I would not have spent that much on a picnic
Yeah,
table.
we're gonna dock your pay.
Don't do that, please don't. Thanks that much, Richard.
yeah. Wait till you see your
It's
next check.
probably
Yeah.
Right.
something I had to learn too, so that I'm gonna make sure next time I will make sure that the person from the budget has seen that too. So I'm gonna make sure about that.
Yeah, I know, yeah, and to Kimberly's point, I know they literally got everything over to me to submit the day before they were due. And so I knew if we didn't at least capture what we had spent,
Right,
we'd miss out on half those funds.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
But I do agree, and I'm glad to hear this is the case anyway, that, you know, something else or a bocce ball court can be discussed, you know, and look at for next year as well. Okay.
Okay, and I'll discuss a like a putting green with them, because the bocce ball court people I talked to had said you could probably do a putting green at a much lower cost.
Huh?
So if they're up for that, I go in there and they're very active, so I could see where they would want that. And I do think it would be a benefit to our community.
Yeah, that's a good point. And yeah, maybe that's the approach rather than just one specific thing. Hey, what kind of activity do you want in this area? So, okay. All right. Anything else, Kimberly?
Mm.
No?
I did talk to and I'm so sorry, her name escapes me, the Foundry girl today.
Oh,
The New England.
the New England.
The New England, she actually is going to work with me regarding getting back involved with the salt mine now that we're hopefully getting back into normalcy.
Okay.
Awesome.
So that we'll do that quarterly. And then Carol is actually going to be shadowing me, Carol Orlando,
Yeah.
so that she
Okay.
can take over community services chair, if that's okay, so that I can transition into president-elect.
So when you say if that's okay, what do you mean? Are you?
Am I allowed to just pass it down? I don't know the full rules yet.
That's up to you and Christine.
Hey, between you and Christine, and if there's someone there that is willing to take on your role so that you can get involved in other ways, or for
Perfect.
whatever reason, if you're.
And that was Christine that had told me that. She said, find somebody to take over community service,
Okay,
because you're
yeah.
gonna need to learn to be president. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you very much. And it's really nice to see you, especially like two times in a row today. It's really nice.
It's good to be back.
Clark, anything on the foundation?
Yeah, just real quick.
Okay. All right.
So here's where we're at with foundation. Brian did put his goal in, so we now see the goal is $9,000 for 2021. It says right here that the contributions are at $52.72, but I'm pleased to report that this week I mailed checks in the amount of $2,150 to Rotary Foundation from 2 of our club members that gave me checks last week. And we also just got another check for $80 that Art just picked up. So we've actually, if I put all those together, we actually have $7,502 in
Okay.
against the $9,000 goal. So we're $1,498 short, but we're at 83% with a little over a month to go. So we're getting pretty close on that. So I just wanted to kind of share that with everybody.
So, well, thank you very much, Clark, for picking this up through the year, and then for getting me so close to a goal when all I had to do was say our goal was 7,000.
Yeah. I will say that we've also given like $4,500 to Polio Plus. So the club's actually donated $9,782
Wow.
this year.
Nice.
But the 9,000 goal was for annual fund, not including Polio Plus, Brian. So,
Okay.
we're still holding your feet to the
You're not
fire
off
on
the hook.
9,000.
Hey, we got a full month left.
How
Yeah,
much
but
more
like-
do we need?
$1,498.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So quick question. So if it's $1,498, can we break that down per member and maybe make a pitch?
Yeah. What is that?
Well, just divide by 47.
Yeah. So 1498 divided by 47, $32 a piece.
Oh,
I think we make a pitch at the next meeting for $50.
I was just saying
And
that, Yeah, because what I did is I just dropped it down to like 30 people who are possibly going to do it.
Yeah,
And
I
that
would
comes out
say
exactly
drop
to
it.
50 bucks.
I would say
Yeah.
go $50 and like send out an email with the meeting notice and say, this is what we're gonna be asking of you, and have people queued up. If all of our board members here are ready to give $50, it's gonna be pretty
Right.
tough for
Yep.
people
Yeah.
not to participate.
I will say,
Mhm.
let me make one point though. You're now limiting, you're kind of setting the expectation of only $50. I would suggest Brian stand up and say, we're $1,498 away from our goal. Who could help us meet that? Because when I was literally three or 4,000 away from my goal a couple months before the end of my presidency, I had a person step up and wrote a check for $3,000.
Wow.
I totally agree, Clark. I mean, I think
So
you
there's
start
two
high,
approaches
it's like
to
an
this,
auction, right? You start high, and then if you don't get the high, then you start going, okay, who will give $100? Who will give, right?
Yeah.
But there's
So,
gotta be some way to set a minimum expectation.
yeah, I mean, if you haven't given anything this year, and I actually have that list of, I know who hasn't given a
Ooh,
penny.
public shaming, that's always fun.
Well, the contribution reports individually are supposed to be confidential, but I have to see them in order to see the
But that
numbers.
doesn't, yeah, that doesn't mean that you can't stand up there with the microphone and go, and you get to give $50, and
Yeah.
you get to give $50. Yeah,
You get to give 150. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I like it.
So-
I think that's
And-
important.
And we did have two members that each gave me a check for $1,000 last week. So, I wouldn't
Yep.
expect them to give me any more.
I think you should
One
go
of them gave
back
me
to them and see what they say.
Can't get back to
Okay.
them now, they're gone.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But anyway. it's all
No,
good.
no, yeah. I meant go back to them and ask them for more. So.
They're probably the
I
most
will-
willing to actually do that. That's what's
They
frustrating.
Yes.
probably
yeah.
would. They probably
Yeah,
would.
yeah. So I'll bring that up next week, that,
Actually, Brian, I still need to do this all Paul Harris Club, and we could kind of combine all this together
okay,
to try to
perfect.
get a little
Yeah.
push. And we'll make some matching amounts. So let me prepare
Hold on.
something. I'll have it ready for the meeting next week, okay?
Okay,
But
Yeah,
I'll send
that-
it to you
that sounds
first,
great.
because I'll let you make the pitch since it's your goal, and then I'll be happy to chime in however you want.
all right. Okay,
All right.
thank you.
That's it.
All right, thanks, Clark. Foundation, John.
Yes, Graziella and I prepared a draft budget for the foundation. I know that's been reviewed and adjusted, and we're making great progress. She will continue online with QuickBooks. Did a lot of analysis and trying to go desktop, and that was kind of dead ended, and so we're going to stay with what we're doing. We welcome our new secretary for next year, which is Prima Stewart. And we're proposing 2 new members for next year. And that'll come up in June at one of our lunch meetings, Bill Lawrenson and Brian Ludwig. That does it.
Okay. All right, thank you. And properties?
The Cornerstone Insurance is in place. The property management firm is on board. We're continuing to wait to record the deed on the Big Bend Ranch. We're considering the sale of 1 vacant lot. And we're also considering recognition of Robert S. Dart. And we've approved the budget for next year.
Okay. Is that it, or?
That's it.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, I didn't want to cut you off if you weren't done.
Fine.
All right, well, thank you, John. So 2 things there. John, I'm going to reach out to everyone that's on. It was formerly known as the LRC Properties Disposition. We'll probably be renaming it to LRC Properties Strategy Committee. And then we're going to be meeting. I'm going to hold a meeting on the 9th of June. It's a Wednesday at 9 a.m. We'll do a Zoom. My goal within that meeting is really, one, do a quick review of what we have. Then I'd like to do, if you and Graziella would help or attend and go through the properties financials for the coming year, your budget,
Sure.
so that committee understands where that is. Because that way, if anyone has any questions, financially speaking, you guys are the closest with those numbers, and they would have the latest information on that. Because then my goal is at the end of that to have everyone go away to prepare their best pitch for what they think we should do, with the goal of being able to, over the next month or so, have all of those ideas, and maybe in the next few months have something to come back to the club with on a direction, or I should say back to the properties board with the direction, because properties then once they agree, then they have to go to the foundation and the club
Right.
with that. So I wanted everyone to kind of hear what I'm thinking over on that side, but at the same time, invite the two of you to join us. So I'll get that email out. So hopefully you'll be able to join us and help with that side of it.
Sure.
Okay, I appreciate it. Okay, thank you. Sounds good. All right, Richard, we'll move on to World.
Okay, nothing new to report structurally. We're still reconciling a couple of small things with our SAFE program down in Chapala, because it was really comprised of, we give 2 levels down there, one from the club and one from individuals. And there was a question with Art. We worked that out. So it's just a matter of my did some details out with the folks, with Louise down in Chapala, and Graziella, thank you for getting me the information. So I think we have everything, and I can wrap that up tomorrow. But as far as the committee goes, we're fine for this year.
Okay, all right.
Hey, Richard, have
Yeah.
you and Bill Lauritsen connected? He's interested in being on the committee.
The first I've heard of it, but I'll certainly reach out to him. Absolutely.
Okay.
He'd be
Yeah.
good. He'd be a good
I
addition.
thought he had sent you a message, but I'm hearing that third hand. I don't know directly.
Okay, I'll
But
reach
yeah,
right out to
he's
him.
been a diplomat all over the world. And
Absolutely. Sure. He was with the State
so,
Department.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he needs to be on a committee to get his blue badge. That's one of his
Okay.
final things he
As
has.
soon as
So,
we're off over here, I'll reach out to him.
yeah, there's a volunteer
Absolutely.
for you. Yeah,
He'd be great.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
good.
perfect. That's good to hear. I think he's a
Yeah.
perfect candidate for that committee. Yeah, great.
Well,
Hey, sounds like he could be a great chair coming up too.
I was gonna say, and if, yeah, exactly. Perfect. Okay, anything else, Richard?
Nope, good.
Okay, thank you. Claire,
Social for July, it was gonna be at the Potter game, but I've got to talk to Christine or somebody. Has anybody actually reserved the VIP for that night? Does anybody know?
I'm sorry, what, Claire?
Oh, wait. Oh, has anyone actually reserved the VIP quarters for that night? In July? And we keep saying that's where we're gonna go, but we if we're not on there, somebody could be in front of us. And so I'm trying to track that down, but everybody I've asked is sending me on to somebody else. So I have a feeling they haven't, so I think I might just do it. Does that sound all right?
yeah, if it's
Better ask
available.
for
let's do
forgiveness
it.
and permission. You bet.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And what was that date again, Claire?
I don't know. It's July. It's the 4th,
20,
the
yeah,
fifth-
July 29th.
29th, yeah. that sounds
29th
right.
of July. Yeah.
And by the way, the 5th Thursday, I was just checking, there's a 5th Thursday in September 30th.
Okay.
And then I think that there's the only other one is in December, which is, that's
Yeah.
on the 30th of December. Will be dark that week, but so that's
So I'll
probably.
be doing the doing the socials again. So Christine, we talked about it today. So, and then we were gonna talk about the food, the lunches. Did she talk to you, Brian, about that?
No,
Because she wanted to bring that up today, but I don't want to do it without her. So we're just talking about getting started, the first meeting in July, back to lunches.
yeah, and I know that's from what I had, that was exactly what we had talked about, was finishing my year out, brown
Yeah.
bagging, give everyone a chance to get back into the swing of things and past any concerns or fears maybe. And then getting back to full-on lunch service with Ed and Becky there as well, starting
Yeah.
the first week in July. So I don't know where she's at with that, but I know that's still my thinking of what we were doing.
Is she coming back tonight or is she gone?
I think anyone's guess is as good as mine.
Yeah,
I think, yeah, it sounds like a lot of stuff's happening for her,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna assume she's not able to make it back.
Okay.
Um,
Well, do any of you have ideas as to where you'd like the food to come from? Just quick ideas right now that I can toss off to her tomorrow? Do you want to leave it the way it was, 3 different places or 4 different places? And
I'm the least picky person when it comes to food. And I will tell you, I'm not concerned if we end up, having something where we're sharing, out of the same salad bowl, the same pizza box or anything. So I'm probably the worst person to ask in this category.
But I think, as far as what we like, I certainly enjoy pizza once a month. So,
okay, pizzas. Okay, so there's a couple of new restaurants too that we might want to think about. So, all right, I'll get back to her and then maybe we can send out an email to you. So just to know what we've talked about, so we can start thinking about getting it started.
Okay.
If that works for everybody.
Yeah,
Okay,
sounds good.
okay.
Yeah, and I know that pizza is like my number 2 food behind burgers. So we could have pizza every week and I'd be fine with it.
How are you so skinny?
I know, right?
God.
Yeah.
And Claire,
Well, thank you.
do you have the list of the restaurants or the meal service that we had? Because I got it from Susan. If you need it, I can send it to you.
The ones that we had before, is that what you're
Yes.
asking?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it was
You
Old
have
Town
it.
Pizza, Mr. Pickles, the Country Harvest, and actually Country Harvest did it twice.
Right.
So
And
it was
then
those 3.
Becky, I think, did it, right?
Yeah,
Well,
so
but Becky doesn't have an insurance thing, and so we could, a license.
Oh,
So I think we could be, a few people said they didn't really want to go that direction.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah, I would leave that up to Christine, being the city attorney.
Yeah, well, that
She
was-
might have a concern with that. I'm fine either way. But yeah, I know that is a
Darn, I like
concern.
Mexican
Some others.
food.
Yeah, me too. That's number 3 on my list.
Okay,
okay,
good.
well, we'll get it talked over. So we'll start going. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you very
Okay.
much, Claire.
Mhm.
All right. And of course, Christine's not here, so no update on the emergency council. The benevolent fund, that'll probably end up carrying over. Still working through on some of the sponsorship stuff. But to touch on that as it relates to fundraising, I was at a virtual fundraiser a week ago tonight. And Aaron, my significant other, is on the board of United Cerebral Palsy Sacramento. And they do this black tie thing every May. Obviously, last year they couldn't do it. This year they did a virtual. It was very similar to what we did for our club. And one of the things that they do is they pick a Humanitarian of the Year award, right? Oddly enough, the Humanitarian of the Year award typically goes to one of their top sponsors, okay? So what I've seen at their events is they end up getting a lot of the movers and shakers, if you will, of Sacramento area, and the people with the funds to go in and start, giving $30,000-$40,000 checks. And what they're doing is they're outbidding each other on who gives the most money. Now, I in no way am putting any pressure on the fundraising committee to start getting it, to try and live up to those levels. My point was, maybe we tie that in with what Jerry's question to me was, or his thought, I should say, of, how do we award sponsors? Well, maybe part of it is that we come up with, humanitarian of Lincoln, whatever we call it. And hopefully over time, getting them kind of competing for this prestigious award. And it kind of ties in with what Barbara DeBaptiste had talked about since she's been here, about how they used to do their fundraisers in other clubs that she's been in. And so anyway, so I'm going to continue talking with Karen, Jerry, and whoever else from fundraising on whether or not we go down that kind of path, with the hope of doing, trying to drive more sponsorships and more giving, right? That's ultimately what we want to do in those. To give you a sense of the black tie thing I was talking about, in person, they were doing $400,000 or $500,000 a year, right, in their fundraisers. Online, they did $320,000 last Thursday. And again, I'm not trying to say that, we need to be in that category. We should, that our fundraising committee isn't doing their job. My point is, is that something we can kind of model and tie in how we promote our club and the things that we do, because that's what they spend a lot of time doing at their fundraisers, showing all this stuff that they're doing, in their community, obviously specifically to cerebral palsy. But because I looked at it, I walked away from the virtual fundraiser last week and I thought, oh, I wonder how much they made. Then I saw the figure and I thought, well, it was interesting because it wasn't much different than ours. So I think we have some opportunity to tie a couple things in there. Anyway, I'll stop babbling on that. But we'll see where that goes. So that's the sponsorship thing.
Question on that.
Yeah.
How many sponsors do we have? We're talking about sponsors. So how many sponsors do we have? And who are they? And who are they? Just the majors.
Yeah. I'm drawing a mental blank.
So we have a problem here.
Yeah.
Graziella.
Ah, yes, to your point.
And who are they?
Yeah.
It was Cornerstone Insurance and, oh God, what's the other one? Hold on. Let me get back to you on that.
So you just hit something, a nail on the head for me, Richard. We're not doing a good enough job with internally promoting who those people are. And it has to start there.
Well, I'm thinking of, if sponsorship, and maybe other clubs have experience in this, if, it's always good you want to always go to the whales, right? Yeah. And so, if you get the corporate sponsorships in there, that's a relatively easy sell, for them. You have to develop, the rationale and create the passion for why they should be doing it. And I think we've got all that ability. But I mean, if we haven't, I haven't even thought about this before, but if we haven't gotten any corporate sponsorships, there just aren't, there's not a depth here in Lincoln without a doubt. Yeah. But we're not even minding the people as, for sponsorships of those who are available in here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, in the past, we've had Rogers Family Coffee.
Yeah.
Jerry for Tour de Lincoln had probably I don't know, $20,000 in corporate sponsors,
Yeah,
Richard. So there's some
yeah.
significant corporate sponsors he's had.
We've
Yeah,
had the
he
hospitals.
actually did like 25,000 2 years ago, I think was the highest, 28,000. And really, when you look at it, our sponsorships over the years that I've been involved with the club have been predominantly what Jerry, or whoever he's working with. And that's part of why I think they broke them back out to the different events. So most of our sponsorships came under Tour de Lincoln. Now, but again, so Cahove Naming Homes,
Sierra
William
Pacific.
Jessup, Sutter Hospital, those are some of the names. But it took me a while to think back to
Yeah.
those, and I
Sierra
go back to
Pacific.
what you were, pardon me? Yeah,
Sierra
Sierra
Pacific.
Pacific, yes.
And the county of Placer, we had this year too.
Yeah. And so, I think it really, you just made a light bulb go off for me. As a matter of fact, you see that above there? When you said that, right? We're not doing a good enough job internally promoting it to then really ultimately give the biggest bang for the buck for the sponsors, and kind of having that feed on itself maybe. So, all right, cool. Thank you. All right. AIPH award focus. It's really all Paul Harris award focus is the next thing. But you said you're in the process of developing what we discussed from last week, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have it ready to present to the club next week. I've
Perfect.
talked about it the last couple of meetings, so.
Okay, thank you. RCL exemption. So I should have sent this out, but we got, and Graziel, I think you recall seeing this.
You
We
did.
got
You did
back.
send it
Oh,
out.
I did send it out? Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so we've been exonerated basically from the concern that we were not filing for the state's registry of charitable trusts, and we're exempt from that as a club. And it threw me off because I never use RCL, Rotary Club of Lincoln, which is what we really are. I always say Lincoln Rotary Club. So, but yeah, there it is. Any questions on that? So the good news is it's cleared up. As you guys know, we have some people that jump right on things and have good connections. And, I know Christine was involved and Joanne with making sure we weren't making sure we responded to this to clear it up with the state. And the state actually responded pretty quick to give us the, yep, you're exempt from this. So we're good there. New business, I have additional AV equipment here, but after speaking with Clark earlier today, I think we can put that on hold for now. Clark's brought us a long way from where we were, just over the last few meetings. So thank you for that, Clark. And I know you and Art have done a lot of stuff in that, but it sounds like at least for now, we can hold off on expansion of that.
And really, we were just talking about whether we would move to a large screen TV.
Right, yeah.
And a stand to roll that on, but then there's the issue of where would we keep it in the women's club? And also the potential for, maybe another laptop. Because it is kind of suggested that you have a laptop where the speaker is, and the webcam in that laptop can actually show the speaker's face, and they come on as one of the Zoom people. And then the webcam can be used for the rest of the room. And the operator doesn't have to, keep moving things towards the speaker. They can focus around they can spotlight different Zoom participants, including the host. But for now, I think we're fine. I think we ought to just let it settle down and see where it goes.
Okay, all right. And I would say, from my perspective, anytime you think we need to do something or are ready to move to the next level, yeah, I know you won't be bashful bringing it up, but
Yeah.
you know,
By
bring
the
it up
way,
when you're ready.
the final cost for all the equipment was about $307.74. Graziella brought me the
Yeah.
check to reimburse me today. And then we just paid the first AT&T bill. So it was $99 for the install and $53.50 per month. Because there's always an extra charge over and above the $50 you pay. And we've
Right.
got it set up on automatic payments. And then we're going to be getting a Visa card for $100 from AT&T to cover the install. It's going to take a few weeks while they, send us that back.
Yeah.
And it's coming to me, but I'll give it to Graziella and she can use it for whatever the club needs it for, or maybe we can use it for a social or something.
Yeah, I think a few drinks are in order. The one thing I guess we can maybe discuss, it doesn't have to be now, and it's not all that important right now, but eventually, do we want to do something with the women's club where if someone is using the women's club and needs Wi-Fi access, they pay, a flat rate to use it while they're there as part of their rental of the hall. We get some relief from our monthly bill. So that'd be something we could look at.
Yeah,
I'm not
right
too
now,
worried about it right now.
Right now, we've given the women's club the password to the Wi-Fi because there's no incremental cost whatsoever
Right.
above the $53.50.
Yeah.
And anyway, they've got that. Now I can change that at any time. So
Yeah. And yeah. Oh,
if we're
sorry.
getting abused, that's all right. So
Yeah.
just.
No, I and I don't see anything wrong with that. And maybe we never worry about charging for it. And I'm not saying we charge the women's club per se, but just people that rent from them, right?
Yeah.
So again, it's not a big dollar amount. We can absorb it. And the good news is we're able to do what we're doing now at these meetings. So,
Yeah. I mean,
right.
It might make sense if they're giving it out to somebody for a wedding and they can charge $50 that we share 50-50. They can keep half, give half back to us or credit against our rent. I mean,
right.
that wouldn't necessarily be let player have that, I guess.
How about something like asking for a voluntary contribution? I mean, as you said, it's no additional cost for us. But I found in the past that if you ask for contributions, sometimes you get more than what you would normally expect because people just will do it because they're appreciative of the effort.
Yeah. Well, I think it's something we can talk about. I don't know how much it's being rented right now. I know some people are renting. I've been there where people have walked through considering it as to rent. But I think it's something we can look at in the coming months as we move forward. So, okay.
Can I say something quickly? I just wanted to say thank you, Clark, for doing all that work, because that was a lot of work that you put together that we can actually do that on the Zoom and everything. So, and I think we saved a lot of money thanks to you. So just want to say, shout that out.
It was my pleasure. My next phase, by the way, I should mention, is I am going to document where all these cables go, how it's all put together on Club Runner under documents, because I should train 2 or 3 people on how to do this, because there's going to be a situation where I'm just not going to be able to be there.
What?
Yeah, it's true. I'm not 100%. So.
At least hang on for the next 3 meetings.
Well, yeah, we'll I get over the next few weeks.
Do me a favor.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Okay.
First drawer, I think.
Right. Okay.
Cut a few pieces.
I had down here LOA
Brian?
for yes.
Whoops, I think I just cut her off. You hear all the. Come on back, Claire.
If you're on mute, if you. Okay. So I had down, the next thing is leave of absence for Karen Russell. Is there anything that's outstanding, Clark, that you're aware of within Club Runner or anywhere else that has to be done? So we're not, well, I guess we still get charged for someone who's leave of absence, correct?
Good. I mean, I think we need to find out her intentions past June.
Yeah, okay. I'll reach
She
out to
wants, and
her.
if she wants to pay her dues for next year.
Right.
Okay, okay. All right. So I'll give her a call and see if I can find out what's going on for her. Oh, and then the last thing was Father Bill's outstanding dues, which we covered much earlier.
Done that.
Yeah. Okay, then let's open it up. We'll go around the horn, see if anyone has any questions or anything they'd like to discuss. I'll go, Graciela, you're on the top left of my screen, so I'll go with you
No,
first.
I did enough. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Brian, do you have anything? No, I don't think he does. John?
Good.
Okay. Richard?
Nope, I'm good.
Clark?
You want to give the board a preview of the awards?
Uh,
I have the thing here from Mary Ann.
you do? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. I think we should. Thank you. So look at this,
Whoa, wow.
That's good.
all silver and gold.
Hmm.
Wow,
Pretty nice.
good job.
That's, yeah,
Good job.
we've held it
Wow,
together
yeah.
through this.
Yep, yeah.
Very nice. Ooh.
Say Mary Jo Edmonds, show this next week, so.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's why I didn't say anything to the club today. I wanted to let her come and do that, almost like presenting to us, right, for the club. So, okay, thank you, Clark. Kimberly, anything? Nope, okay, Claire?
I was trying to, I guess I did something wrong with the immunity. I was trying to tell you during the women's club, we've already started talking about ways we can work with you and, paying part of that stuff so it can be part of what we have too. So that, we're certainly amenable to anything that goes like that. So we'll talk about that. Maybe you and Clark,
Okay.
you and I can talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't think there's any rush from our side based on what we discussed here. So yeah, whenever you guys are ready to talk about that, let me know, or Christine, however you want to pursue that.
Okay, because we know that for our rentals, and yes, we have quite a few rentals already coming in.
Okay.
For the rentals, having Wi-Fi is a huge plus. So they,
Oh, good.
they would pay into something like that. So anyway, that's why we can talk about it.
Well, good,
Okay.
good. That's
Okay.
nice to hear, yeah. I was amazed at just the few times I've been there, people coming through and wanting to rent the place.
Yep.
It sounds like it's a pretty active hall to rent, right?
And because it's so reasonably priced and it's
Yeah,
so
okay.
nice, it's a historic building, so
What
Yes,
does it
yeah,
cost to
yeah.
rent, Claire? What does it typically cost to rent?
And I'm gonna say this wrong because they keep changing it. And of course, with last year with nothing, we talked about it, but it's about $200 if you want like the whole day on a weekend. And
Wow,
that's it.
That's
And
it.
you have to pay $1,000 at McBean or one of these others. But there are a lot of people that have baby showers, wedding showers, 50th anniversary parties, memorials, remembrances, services, so forth for loved ones. I mean, it's rented. Once we get started again, it's rented regularly. So,
Okay,
Use the kitchen, or is there like an extra
yep.
charge?
Nope. No, you
That's all
get
part of
the
it.
key and you have the place. And that's it.
Oh, does it have Wi-Fi?
Yeah, that's the first question they ask.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting.
No,
Yeah,
I
I guess
don't.
I guess that makes sense nowadays, right? Everyone wants to show videos or whatever. Cool. Very nice.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Claire.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Then one last time, anything before we wrap it up?
Move to
No.
adjourn.
Yeah, all right, I'll second that. All in favor?
You
Aye.
bet.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, any abstentions? No. All right. Thank you all, and I'll see you next Thursday. Have a great Memorial weekend. Be safe, and maybe I'll see some of you on Monday if you make it out to the dedication of the memorial.
Doing your colors for you, Brian. I'll see you there.
All right. Okay. Cool. Cool. I'll see you there. Okay. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.